कि नहीं भाई मैं एक्टिंग कर रहा हूँ, ऐसा कुछ है नहीं और वैसा. So that also they didn't believe, and that was very horrifying. It was actually horrifying. I've never felt so scared. And if you're not in the right room, then you're not getting the opportunity, even if you're more worthy of it than anyone else. Actually, Munjya would have been my 5th or 6th film if the earlier films would have happened. तो मैंने कहा मुझे एक फिल्म मिली है जिसमें मैं ट्रांसजेंडर प्ले कर रहा हूँ. तो she stopped. क्या? Most of the people said, no, why? This is not the ideal way to choose your first thing. I said, that's exactly why I'll choose it. Sir, हरियाणा में देते ही नहीं है कोई love पे advice यार. Honestly, they're too shy to say things. So Bombay is where I've always I've experienced कि हाँ यार इसके बारे में बात की जा सकती है. It's very normal. Otherwise, it's a very shy type. You're very reserved. You don't talk to your parents as much.
Hi, I'm in conversation with someone who's been variously called the national crush of India. He's also done a wonderful performance at the box office with his latest release, Munjya. I'm in conversation with Abhay Verma. Thank you, Abhay, for being part of the conversation.
I am very thankful that I'm talking to you.
Not at all. It's a pleasure. How are you reacting to all the adulation? I mean, you do realize it's an Instagram world we are living in, and it may not be, it may or may not be real. So how do you separate the adulation from the actual praise?
I actually don't specifically try to differentiate both of the spaces. I believe in working, and that's all I believe in. Honestly, that's all. I mean, there is just one thing which a boy coming from outside can have specifically. I should have. That's just will to work. And the will takes you aloft, and that is what I believe in also.
How do you keep your balance? Like, how do you know कि it's very easy to get carried away by, oh, you're the next big thing, you're wonderful, अब तुम छा गए हो, तुम्हारे जैसा कोई है ही नहीं. How do you know? Listen, boss, this is weekend talk, weekend collection talk. You're here in it for the long run. So how do you...
I mean, it may sound poetic and ironic, but just to keep my failures closer to my heart than the appreciation. I honestly, whenever someone throws many words of appreciation, not that yours, I keep it here, because that means a lot to me. But failures are something which I really, keep myself close to. Honestly, I deliberately do that because first thing, you should not take compliments too seriously. That's what I believe in. That's again, I mean, can be something which, keep you closer to the reality and give you reality checks. And plus being an ardent of cinema like yourself, I have always, seen and admired people and have, talking from legends like Amitabh Bachchan, who has seen all the ups and downs in his life from Saath Hindustani to wherever he has taken the legendary part of it, of himself too. I mean, just observing and just seeing how these wonderful creative people, personalities have just reacted to successes, just by being quiet and just by वो घोड़े की ऐसा नाल लगा के just they keep on working, because that's what actually counts, sir. And I really believe so that everything is a byproduct if your work is good. Everything. Even if you wear a simple kurta, that becomes fashion. If your work is good and people are, speaking highly of you or thinking highly of you, more than speaking. That's what I really believe in. And whatever differentiation that you're asking, I think that will forever be a question to answer. And one would not be able to in this world because things are changing so rapidly as we speak.
I read somewhere you said you've been struggling for 40. You've been here, wanting to do since the age of 14. You bought.
Correct, yeah.
So that makes you how old? 800. How old does it make you?
No, slightly more elder than you. So I'm 26 now. So it's,
okay.
Yeah.
So when you first told your family, you come from a small town in Panipat, and where all this seems very unthinkable. Right. Did you, when you first told I believe you flunked your examination and your mother gave you a good mouthing, and in that fit of anger you went to see Ram Leela to calm down, and then that changed your life. But before that, what was ghar ka mahal kaise tha? What did you, how did all this happen?
So my father had just passed away some time back, then this particular incident. and things were a little mellowed down because my brother has always been in boarding, and I have personally firsthand seen everything that I should be seeing maybe 15 years later than now. So that actually played on a little bit on my
You mean financial stress?
financial, and yeah, the could be the financial thing more, but more than financial, I would really like to give importance to the environment of the house as it changes. When the senior person in your family just vanishes, you're in disbelief for first 6 months. Acha wo chutti pe gaye yaar. So it's for 6 months. It was that because I was way too young. But
How old were you when you
I was 13. I was 13. Yeah. So that had happened, and everything actually changed. I think in me later on. The maturity level, I think, played more than anything at
So
that
did
point.
you have to grow overnight because of that passing?
Yeah, something actually.
And what about your dad? Did he any kind of advice that he gave you, or something that he said stayed with you?
To just go all out for your dreams. I would say I like bowling, and he would buy me a cricket kit. So that's the kind of person he was, and I've learned the fighting spirit from him. And just to be leaving home, my hometown, having absolutely some pennies in my hand, and just going to and coming to this Mahanagari, and just taking steps little by little. So that was all him.
You were also a sportsman, no?
Yeah, right.
So what you want to talk about? You didn't complete your college?
Not really. Not really.
So you
That's another sportsmanship.
you studied till your 12th standard.
I studied till my 12th. Barely I could surpass 12th. But yeah, I pursued business administration for some time. And then in the middle, if I may say so, I felt boring. And I felt that, okay, this is not where my actual potential is being touched. I did some 16 exam and I failed in 14. And that's where I realized, sorry boss, time to switch places. Time to actually take that leap of faith. And it's okay to just manage your struggles here and there. So, if I may say manage my struggles, I would like to mention that celebrating festivals with family is a luxury, which I've realized after coming here. Diwali celebrated here, giving auditions. Holi celebrated maybe shooting, and I've always been a festival person. My festival starts before a month than the actual day. So I'm that kind of a person, and coming from that background, so I mean, changing it all suddenly just because of that one dream that you want to achieve, which is somewhere floating in thousands here and there in Bombay. So that's what I actually, clung on to.
So can you run me through your audition process? How many auditions did you give? And were there any films that you would have liked to be a part of, but you were rejected because of nepotism, maybe because you were not good for the role, or maybe a casting director, they are very fashionable not to reply messages.
Right.
So they don't reply because then that gives them a sense of importance. So how did you go through all that?
I've never really kept rejections on top of my head. Never. I just wanted to act for the fun of it. If not films, then theatre. If not theatre, then nukkad. If not nukkad, then I would have taken my own film camera and then, camera like I would have gone out and just performed. So that has always been the intention.
So how long did that actual struggle? Now you say you're 26, so I'm thinking 6 years of struggle before Munjya happened, or about 4 years of struggle?
Struggle was there in Panipat. Yeah, for a person who comes from outside to Bombay, struggle is always before that. For me, it was always before. The struggle was in Panipat, where I was feeling prisoned, I was feeling caged, when I was not able to, just basically do what I wanted to do. And after coming Bombay, it's a privilege struggle, where you are actually doing what you want to do, but you're not getting the opportunity. So you're in the middle. And audition, I say that it's the gateway of India for actor. That there's a whole sea of art beyond that gateway, and you just have to be on the boat, on the jetty, which can take you to, wherever you want to go to. There's no limit to that. And it was interesting enough, but yeah, those days very memorable. Oh, some flashes are coming.
Give me some
But-
anecdotes.
No, but like you said, that you're not entertained all the time. Sometimes coming from Haryana, you are, when someone says, "Hey, not fit," so you are you're not really happy about how people are talking to you. I'm like, ठीक है भाई, fit नहीं हूँ, आराम से तो बोलो यार, क्या हो गया? And this one time, my cousin had come from Haryana, so he came with me because my day was like that, auditioning and everything. So he came with me, and one of the casting directors, I said, "Sir, am I fit or not?" So he was with me. So he said, "No, you're not fit." तो ही चढ़ा वो बोल कैसे रहा तो अरे भाई मैंने कहा नहीं थैंक यू so not many people can take that no for an answer also, and just that little belief that you have, Jitesh sir, in your mind ki okay, it's fine, I'll enter the room where I'll be more respected and the most respected, and then you'll take my audition and then I'll show you what I have. So that little competitive spirit you have to have.
So are the casting directors more respectful now?
I mean, not that they've always been disrespectful, but it's just that each one has their own life and they all have their struggles to deal with in day-to-day basis. But yeah, I mean, now it's a little different scenario, to be honest.
So was there any kind of project that you really wanted, but oh my God, you and I can't believe you actually said no to Archie's and you did another film. What were you thinking when you said no to Zoya?
No, no, it wasn't a no actually. That was in process, and by the time the process was happening, another project came up. So I rather chose the opportunity than it was just in the process. So मैंने कहा अभी ये मिल रहा है, and that is something which I don't think I'll ever be able to I don't know if any director will be able to see that in me or not. So playing a transgender was a life-changing decision in itself. I'd like to share one story with you. My mother was making roti for me, and I had just gotten this film. So, and I always felt like going home after any other thing we said. And मुझे वो मिला, and I thought नहीं, अब घर जाना है मुझे, and I want to share it with my mom. तो मैं घर गया, and मैंने कहा मम्मा पिक्चर मिल गई. अरे अच्छा, अरे वाह क्या मिला? तो she is making roti for dinner. तो मैंने कहा मुझे एक फिल्म मिली है जिसमें मैं ट्रांसजेंडर प्ले कर रहा हूँ. तो she stopped. कहती क्या? मैंने कहा हाँ मैं ट्रांसजेंडर प्ले कर रहा हूँ मेरी पहली फिल्म में. अच्छा, because she was taken aback. Yeah, like most of the people said no bhai, this is not the ideal way to choose your first thing. मैंने कहा that's exactly why I'll choose it. I will come for all the stereotypes if possible, and I'll break the rules and I will show that there's no ideal way, and the most preferred way would be just following your gut and art. And that's what I've always believed in. Playing transgender, now people go back to my work and they see Safed and then they message me that whoa, we were skeptical if you could pull it off or not, but a lot of people didn't recognize me. That's my win. A lot of people said that you won't be able to do it. That's my win. And a lot of people said I don't think तेरा इसके बाद क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा. So that's my win. I did Munjya and that did very well commercially also. So all these little things that I know that I can be a face of hope.
What did you learn about the LGBTQ community through playing this role? And I believe you, for your research, you stayed 2 months. You'd gone 2 months to Varanasi, and you got teased or Adam teased as I don't know what the politically correct word is.
Right.
But besides that, what did you understand about the transgender community, about sexuality in general?
So apart from all the Jitesh sir, from the sexuality part of it, all the so very not so complicated but made complicated part, just that simple thing that I felt that I mean when I was playing the character, I felt that I don't need any extra thing. I just need to be treated as same as others. Just this very simple thing, which we try to make some effort ki, are you okay, are you okay, you're doing fine, kuch problem hai aapko, just let it be, just let it be. I mean, let's just treat them as one of us. I felt personally that because out of the whatever teasing incident happened with me or whatever happened. So that was a feeling that I was waking up with all those 10 days of shooting. That yeah, man, I exist. And
Did you feel violated or abused in any way when that teasing incident happened?
oh yeah, I felt scared. I've never felt scared. Scary is a very scary feeling.
So what happened? There were these group of youngsters who just came and
So Banaras being Banaras, and it was 4 a.m. and we were in the night shoot. And I used to walk from one set location to other, and I didn't used to take car or something because I didn't feel like it. So I was going, and it was 4 in the morning, and our EP was also usually you go on 2-wheelers because the roads are very narrow, cars can't go everywhere. So this one fine night, I was walking and I was in salwar kameez. I had this lipstick on, I had wig on, and this and that. So I was walking and I was thinking about the next scene which I'm going to prepare because the time was short. And that way I bought some time also, which the director thought, oh, I think he's into character. But jokes apart, I was walking and this 3-4 bike, there were 4 people at one bike, riding one bike, and the first one was sitting on the meter. That's how it is in Banaras. So they came and they just stopped and they asked a few questions like, oh, कहाँ जा रही है, कहाँ पे क्या, मतलब ऐसा 2-3 questions. तो I actually had to tell them कि नहीं भाई मैं acting कर रहा हूँ, ऐसा कुछ है नहीं और वैसा. So that also they didn't believe. They thought she is acting, that she's not. So then my EP came and then उन्होंने भगाया उसको कि ए चल जाओ ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. So then that incident happened. But I was scared for a couple minutes and that was very horrifying. It was actually horrifying. I've never felt so scared. So that's when I came to this realization that I mean, just let them be.
But how did it change you as a person? Because it's almost a life-altering experience.
Oh yeah.
If you take it, like for example, I remember when Salim did Darmiya, or when Paresh ji did Tamanna. If you see, it's not just a physical transformation. It's a lot more than that.
Absolutely.
Getting into the skin of something. Of course, there is the over-the-top Sadashivam Rapurkar and Sada, or there are whether it's Ashutosh Rana. If you see, there's also the very commercial side to a. But when you play a transgender, there's also something more which shifts in your life. Did you feel that?
One thing that was permanent was that I used to fall asleep crying. Every day it was just another thing which used to hit Abhay Verma so personally, that why is this happening in this society? So yeah, that was part of my life for those particular period of time. And I believe acting is a process where you become a Ravan, where you are not just one dimag wala, there are 10 dimags which are working with you. Basically, addition of perspective is what I'm meaning here.
So you're an overthinker.
I love it. I am an overthinker. I absolutely am. So it's just adding perspective, which ultimately makes you a better person. And I really believe that it's a very pious and pure job that I'm doing. And so a lot of things changed, which made me a better person. Which I also say, and hence I'm able to talk to you, right? I'm able to tell you that okay, they just need to be. They just need to left alone and not made an extra effort to make them feel that you are a part of us. We need to unlearn. They've learned everything.
Like, do you face any other prejudice after the film came out or anything?
No, I've never felt so respected of myself more than others. The respect for me personally grew a lot more when I played a transgender. You're representing a community and that's not a joke. And irrespective of the result that it may, just culminate into, I think, just being able to represent someone and speak for someone, I think that seldom happens nowadays. And me, if I'm able to do it from my work, and I also believe that it happened really early on in my life, and that's a good thing. And because a lot of young actors, messaged me, oh wow, this can happen also. This can happen, and come fly with me.
Biggest challenge in an actor's life is patience, waiting. One role to another, one set to another, in between waiting. So does that What does that do to your mental health?
It crushes you. After Munjya, shooting Munjya, so we shot for 4 months, 14 Feb to 14 May last year. And for a year and a half, I just waited. I was at my home where eating food felt like working. It's too dangerous of a gamble to play. Waiting for a year, and that too, I mean, not so financially stable since you're
So
working.
yeah,
in-
that's what I wonder. How did you, in those 6 years struggle, how did you manage your finances? I mean, all of you go to the gym, you'll have to have your protein shakes, and you'll plus have to look good, and there's a lifestyle that you have to maintain when you're even as a struggler.
Yeah.
So how do you manage all that?
I think you have to maintain. A very good point, actually. You mentioned you have to maintain. You think of maintaining yourself more when you are a struggler, because you're constantly fighting through within you to just surpass whatever you have lived yesterday. Everyone wants to do better in life. But wow, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah. Actually, it's a good thing. But yeah, I've never really been fond of gym. I'm never really fond of the byproducts. I've never really gotten inspired from what color kapda I'm wearing. It's just me and the camera, and that's how I'd like to keep my relationship as. So just keeping it very simple, honestly, and not focusing on the byproducts. It just takes all the tension away. And so that way you're actually just doing what you love. It's as simple as that. There's no very inspiring definition to it, and I would not like to mention something which I'm not, I've never faced or never been through to. But yeah, just keeping it simple, I guess, can be the way, and not indulging yourself in any of the extracurriculars, which can happen later.
But what's the best thing and the worst moment when you were struggling?
I mean, you don't always get the opportunity you are worthy of, and you know it better than anyone else. You don't always happen to be in the right room, and if you're not in the right room, then you're not getting the opportunity, even if you're more worthy of it than anyone else. So there have been times, I mean, where you feel dejected when you know that it can happen for you, and sometimes, this one moment. Actually, Munjya would have been my fifth or sixth film if the earlier films would have happened my way. Some film came my way, some I started prepping for it, but then it didn't happen. Some films I said yes to, I started prepping, but then it shelved or didn't happen. So a lot of all these things happen that puts you really in a low space. So my brother actually said a very beautiful thing early on when I came. He said a movie is not released until it's seen on the Friday night. Like it can. So you won't believe my first film which I ever did. It was supposed to release tomorrow, but it got shelved today.
How can a film which is a release get shelved?
I don't know. It was supposed to
Is
be
this that Mandera?
Yeah, correct.
Huh,
So it was supposed to happen basically, it was supposed to release tomorrow. And I had called all my family of 50 people, like cousins and everyone, because nobody has experienced something of sorts. Like a movie will come of a boy in our family or mine, so to say. I still feel, I get chills when I say this. But calling all of them and getting food for everyone, this and that, so people enjoy and sit and just watch it on a small TV, or 50 eyes glancing towards the TV, and then getting a call, oh no, it's not happening. Just an hour back, honestly, not even a day back. So that is a major setback which an actor gets. Appreciation.
But why? Because of some political pressure? Or
Could be. I
something?
mean, I have never really.
Is this the film with Sanjay Bhansali?
Correct. He presented the film.
Okay.
And Sanjay Tripathi was directing, but it just didn't happen. And I was too shocked to ask the reasons for it. Just gone, vanished. So 1 year of mehnat, and then 1 year of hope, and that crushes it. It just, you're taken aback. You really. So that is one of the low moments, but rather inspiring. And the best moment. Let's talk about the best moments now. Every rejection has been the best moment. It just built my hunger so much. I can't tell you. Like now after Munjya, I feel so much hungry to be on a set that I thought I had reached my potential, and then the appreciation came my way. So the hunger is always, it just increased, be it whether rejection or whatever, or success or appreciation.
Like, how did you groom yourself? Like, how did you groom your skills while in the, did you do workshops? Did you do theater? Did you like voice culture? Like, I mean, Nasir sir even now is doing workshops in theater, and I mean, how much of that must be honing their talent? So, did you do any of that at all?
I mean, I'd like to mention this again, which you said that if Nasir Saab can, do a workshop, uh, not shying away from the fact that there's a lot more to learn now, and him we call the legend. He is like he can do it all. He can do anything. He can perform anyone, and still he feels that I need to work on myself. Then it just boils down to a beautiful fact that there's infinite possibilities of improving ourselves in the field of art. But having said that, the competitive in me again arose, and he said, if you can't do that, then you learn from life. There's so much to learn, so much to like. People in this room are every character in their own, and you get so much from life in itself that you don't need any of the classes. You are experiencing life there also, and if you can experience it like around you, you just have to be a little more observant in life, and you're there. So thankfully, that little process is apparently working, if I may say so.
So, what were the actors that really inspired you? What is the kind of work? I mean, there has to be input for output. What you do on screen can't come on a blank canvas. So, obviously, you have processed and taken in a lot of good stuff, which is why you can see it on screen. But so, was there some sort of actors, and what is the kind of compliments that you received, and stuff like that?
The chats which, if I may say so, you have had with certain actors, legendary actors, you've talked with all of them. So those actually intrigued me more. Deepika Padukone, my favorite actor, and your conversation with her was so beautiful. And
What did she say? Remind me.
She a lot of things you mentioned. You asked her about her dating life, her personal life, and what's her process, which she never reveals, and sort of those things. So I said, okay, अच्छा अपना card अपने पास रखना होता है साला. But I was more intrigued in knowing the how of things, because that's where the magic lies. And never really. So characters really inspires me more than the actors. Ranbir Kapoor played in Tamasha, Ved. That inspired me more than, if I may say so, in the most politest way, Ranbir Kapoor himself. Maqbool in Irrfan sir in Maqbool. So Maqbool inspired me, or Pan Singh Tomar inspired me more than Irrfan Khan. So that's where I've gathered my inspiration from, and the how they. So Shul, Manoj sir, again, legendary. So that's where I've taken inspiration from, and seeing the film and afterwards seeing their interview, that just two personalities. I just wanted to focus on the bridge of part A and part 2. The ceiling ke toll se leke when you reach the Worli. So I was more interested in the ceiling than the Worli or the toll. So that really intrigued me a lot in life, and I've always focused on what journey did they put themselves into here. And what a beautiful ride it is that they don't know if Abhay Verma exists, but he's getting inspired. Like Ratan Tata, I actually wanted to meet him, and we are talking about him, not even knowing that he never sort of knew that Abhay Verma is somewhere lying in the world, thinking about him, dreaming about him.
But he's inspired.
But he's just there. You feel, the whole world is just thinking about that one loss, which, 99.99% of the people haven't met him, who admires him. But still, we are having a conversation and we're taking his name. That's the journey which I want to forge for myself. That's where I want to be.
What's the best and the worst piece of advice that you've given?
Received. Or received. No, I am too inexperienced to give any advices. But the worst kind of advice I've gotten is to go back home. The worst and the best also could be go home. And apparently the best advice I just heard was that how big would you dream if you knew you wouldn't fail? That's the thought which really stayed by me. Wow. We are absolutely limiting ourselves on the basis of failures and successes.
You mentioned dating life. So I'm very keen to know your first heartbreak, your first love affair.
But I've had my fair share of love.
Yeah. Like serious affairs and all of that.
It's always been serious.
You're not the one night stand type.
Oh, no. Okay. I'm every night stand.
But are you one of those intense lovers? Are you like, what kind of lover are you?
Intense, not Kabir Singh intense, but but intense in a lot of ways. Yes, yeah. Either it's 0, either it's 360, not even 180. So it's that for me. But it's actually the most beautiful feeling in the world.
So what's the let me rephrase my question. What's the worst and the best piece of advice about love that you've got?
Worst would be just have fun, man. That will be the worst. अरे क्यों छोड़ दूँ यार? क्या होता कसम? Worst would be, so people who don't take feelings too seriously is, as someone
It's a red flag.
yeah, I don't like that company as much or that thing so much where people are putting feelings into backside and. Either way, otherwise I'm very introvert and shy. But if I'm for someone and I'm liking someone, I would just be very open and vocal about it. That's one thing. But the best feeling there about love that I've gotten. Sir, Haryana में देते ही नहीं है कोई love पे advice यार. Honestly, they're too shy to say things. So Bombay is where I've experienced. कि हाँ यार इसके बारे में बात की जा सकती है. It's very normal. Otherwise, it's all very shy type. You're very reserved. You don't talk to your parents as much. The silver lining is there of not, just this barrier which you feel.
But you would talk to all the Londays around, na?
Yeah.
Friends. So what are the kind of conversations you'd have?
Oh, you don't know. You don't know.
Okay, tell us the most vegetarian of the conversation.
They're all vegetarian or non-vegetarian. No, but honestly, the most vegetarian would be chill करना इतना क्यों इतना परेशान टेंशन मत ठीक life is too big हो जाएगा. So that would be the most vegetarian.
This is vis-a-vis relationships.
Yeah. But I've never really been on that side where I've taken it very lightly.
But you're not that प्यार में फना हो जाना type.
प्यार में फना हो जाना, but not Kabir Singh type.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not a red flag as a boyfriend.
There are always red flags. A person can't be perfect, so there might be some. I'm a little possessive, not in a bad way, but of course, possessiveness is. I think it turns out even better. The person feels secured, that much possessive. And I'm very insecure and I'm shy away from that fact, and sometimes I'm too much caring.
It's a good thing, no?
Yeah, but then the other person takes you for granted. That's not a good thing. So
that don't give them their space.
No. I give them their space, but all of these things in a nice way, as in not taking their space away, but also just giving a lot. And basically, I'm very much of a giver in love. That's what I am. Maybe I'm a little too naive to speak about love, so I don't have many bad things to say. But yeah, so far this has been the.
So what are the kind of DMs that slip into your Instagram messaging?
This one girl wanted to tattoo my name. I just read it. मैंने कहा please बहन तो नहीं बोला मैंने. Awkward हो जाता. DMs पे awkward हो जाता. But मैंने कहा please don't do it. So I apparently signed my name and then I wrote on my register only with love to whatever her name was. And then I clicked a picture and then sent it to her. She wanted a signature. She said I'll tattoo it. I go, no, please don't tattoo it. I'm clicking your picture and then sending it to you. Don't be that foolish because not every film is going to be. You might want to change your choices. It could be. I want that to happen, but yeah, it could be. Yeah, I don't want you to regret my name. But yeah, those things.
Tell me about the Munjya experience. Now, when you look back at it, I believe each shot you had to do 3 times, and
Wow, yeah.
and also you were working with a very leading production house. Maddock is doing extremely well. You're working with the lovely Sharwari. Just take us through the entire experience.
Wow. So, first of all, Munjya is one rare opportunity that comes down to a newcomer. Where you don't know what this guy is capable of, but you still would like to trust that person and take that leap of faith, just on the basis of an audition. And I've always gotten things from audition, so I don't demean the power of that. A lot of people do, but I don't. I'm here because of auditioning, and I'm very open to do auditions for the rest of my life also. But having said that, yeah, Munjya is really an opportunity that seldom happens, where it's such a unique concept driven film which has very high commercial value. And I would also like to mention to you that I was able to maybe Munjya was able to achieve whatever it did because I was so detached from the results.
Really?
Yeah. I never really thought that, oh, it's a 35 CR film and it's once in a lifetime project, and you never know what life throws at you after Munjya, or if that's going to be a flop, or who's going to come to you see in theaters. I always honestly have had the purest of the intentions while shooting for it. But having said that, Maddock trusting in a person like me, it's still.
Were there other actors who also auditioned for this role?
I came to know that there were a lot of actors which were tested for it. A lot of big names also apparently. But yeah, thankfully, just me grabbing the opportunity was.
No, but that also speaks of their confidence in a newcomer, over established faces, a director investing in you. That it's remarkable the director and producer decided to do that power to them.
No, absolutely. It's very fascinating. This one fascinating thing which Pooja said to me in very first meetings.
Pooja who? Sorry.
Pooja Vision.
Okay.
Dinusa's sister.
Okay.
So she said to me, I out of my naiveness said, "Ma'am, are you sure you want to give me this role? Like, you sure it's a lead role? It's a very big budgeted film, and Maddock and everything." So they said a very sweet thing that we believe in you, and not every film will be given 2 stars. And this is the film where you're not a star, but you'll be one. And we believe in making stars rather than just giving it to the established ones, so to say. So I said, "Whoa, okay, has become a star." So I took that leap of faith, and then I just went on to it.
How did you feel when you read the reviews? What did the reviews say?
So sorry for mentioning this, but a lot of people said कि screening के बाद मैंने कहा wow यार, people are loving the film. People just calmed me down कि बेटा रुक जा, ये अभी कल का वेट कर ले, जो आता है आर्टिकल में वो एक बार पढ़ ले, उसके बाद you decide कि क्या अच्छा है क्या नहीं. But the next day it was again overwhelming. I was like, whoa, my phone was ringing and I said, oh wow, he's calling. Okay, wow, okay. I spoke. Very wow, it happened. Yeah, from the next day onwards, I just didn't want to remember my past life. Yeah, the life before 6th of June is a blur, and I don't really like remembering it for good reasons, of course. But yeah, it just flips the coin. Commercial thing just flips the coin, and whatever you there are a lot of things जिसमें आप खुद ही question करते हो अपने आप को कि यार मैं सही भी जा रहा हूँ या नहीं जा रहा हूँ. If you are saying no to certain projects that choosing is a luxury, you know it. तो वो भी आपको realize होता है कि यार as a newcomer, if you are saying no to things, then are you sure you really want to say no or not? But then you sort of that the seesaw of emotions and struggle and whatever emotions that you go through. that all just justifies on that one Friday. Actually, Saturday. So that Saturday was, 7th of June was my fondest day till date.
Then you did another film, I think, Watan.
Watan, Mere Watan. Correct. Yeah.
Which got trolled very badly on
Hmm.
social media. So within a span of 1 month or 2 months, you saw this side and that side. So how did you react with something like that?
I honestly very boring of an answer to give, but I'm actually very zen with these things. I know this thing I've seen, I've read, I've like seen people forging their journey from personalities to actors and whatnot, and I know it's just a part and parcel. I know that that one Friday can change everything. एंड आई ऑलवेज सटली न्यू आई डिडंट से इट बिकॉज लोग बोलते हैं कि अपनी विशेस को बताना नहीं चाहिए तो वो पूरी नहीं होती तो मैंने बताया नहीं किसी को बट आई वाज प्रेइंग फ्रॉम इनसाइड कि नहीं that one Friday will come. And in Watan, Mere Watan also, like, people were really appreciative of my work. They said, wow, you did very well in that, the emotions that you portrayed. Like I said, I don't remember the appreciation part.
Is there any actor's career who you have wanted to emulate and you think, wow, iske saath I would, female or male, if I would like to work with them and say, now life is set, it's made. Is there like everybody has a dream role, a dream actor, a dream director. Do you have any of that?
Well, there are lot many people, I don't know, starting from Shah Rukh sir. I have admired and how not just because of the performances, also because of the personality that he is and how he carries himself, and also from South Hindustani, Amitabh sir, from South Hindustani to just evolving with time. That is a beautiful thing where I personally I think I lack. I'm still coping myself to strike a balance between my generation and the Zen mode of me. But Amitabh sir, for that matter, just evolving with time and just proving and breaking barriers with film like Pa, with film like Pink, and of course in Trishul, and the list goes on and on. But I've always admired them, and Paresh Rawal. And coming down to Rajkumar Rao is from Haryana, so I feel that connect with him. And we briefly met at one place, and then we chatted a little. But these are the little things which makes you feel that you're closer to what you've always thought of over a decade. Just being around the people, being called at certain places, being around the place where art is appreciated and all the legendary people are talking. I met Javed Saab the other day, and I went on my knees. I said, "Sir, मेरी एक फिल्म आई थी अभी मुंजा." अरे तुम हो वो. मैंने कहा, अरे सर आपको पता है वो बहुत बड़ी बात है. So these are the little things which feels like a very big jump for a person who comes from outside and feels okay. Javed Akhtar knows Abhay Verma exists. Game is over. So these are the little achievements which you were mentioning, that focus on the achievements, and I think those were those moments which I really keep it here.
You mentioned twice about being Zen mode, and which is a very nice. So obviously you have a spiritual side to you, but our minds have been overheated, oversaturated with social media. And how will you maintain your authenticity? It's the paps. The paps are being paid to click you. The paps are being called where you were shooting. How are you going to sift through all this and find your own authentic voice?
So I have dealt with this pressure of whatever you mentioned, be it the paps calling, be it so to say being made to do some things, being made to post some pictures, being made to be out there. And I thought that, and I'm speaking it. I'm glad I'm speaking to this, and people are going to listen to this because I'm the first-hand what do you say, victim of that thing.
Social media.
Yeah, but you don't always have the opportunity to do, or basically the stability to do a VR. You don't have the financial credibility or the stability to do certain things which people might do. And having said that, I would like to mention over here that if your work flourishes, you flourish. If your work doesn't flourish, like I've had Safed, I've had Watan, like you said, it was trolled on. So I've seen that side a little bit, and I've seen Munjya. Both were me. Why? What happened to that Abhay Verma and what happened to this? What changed? It's just that when your work reaches to people and they're very appreciative of their work, it just changes. They make the industry and they make people stars. That's all I can say, and that's where I find my real being. Just being able to work and at least being the roots of it, and not building a pseudo building where nobody can stay in. I want to create a Burj Khalifa out of myself where people look at me with a sense of hope, where people look at me, where they connect to me in a certain way. Okay, this is the story which I want to, which I can resonate to. That okay, it's okay if they don't have any certain contacts on their phone book, but still if they work hard, they can do something out of their lives. So I just maintain myself being by that, just being focused a little bit more on the work side of it, and rather than just chat GPTing my captions, which makes me look smart.
But there is pressure, right, to chat GPT your captions.
Not when you really want to show your real side, or you're afraid to show your real side, then the chat GPT is best friend. But thankfully, my experiences are enough to just explain in the captions, and that have been appreciated very well. So I think that is really taking me aloft, and I would like to maintain that.
You're doing a film with the Shah Rukh Khan, and did you have to audition for that role? It's almost like, okay, from Safed to the King, and it's almost like you've come full circle. Did you have to audition? And I know Sujoy is this incredibly talented madman, but how? I mean, you want to talk about it? Can you talk about it at all? Did you have to audition a lot or stuff like that?
Like I said, auditioning has been like my favorite part. I can't.
How many times did you have to audition for this film?
I honestly, I'm not really confirmed that I'll be in the film or anything. I hope that happens though.
Tell us your, since you're talking about audition, tell us about your funniest auditioning experience and your.
It was my very first, not even audition, forget audition, sir. I was introducing myself. And I said, my name is Abhay Verma and I am 13 December. My age is from Panipat, and I said some random things. I said, what? The camera, the guy was like that. He was holding a camcorder. I said, he looked at the casting director. Karna hai isko audition. It was that. I was so shy in front of the camera. So that was the most funniest thing. And I came down. So whenever you go before the audition, you check the selfie camera. You check the camera, how were you looking and how did it go. It is almost as if you pass through a pretty girl. You check how you looking. So it's that. You look at the camera, and I have never seen myself that red. वो कश्मीरी सेब की जो पहली पेटी होती है ना, उसके जो बीच में जो सेब होता है ना, वैसा लग रहा था. So it was that. I was that red. It was the funniest thing ever, and it felt like मैं किसी ऑपरेशन थिएटर से निकला हूँ जहाँ पे कोई पंखा नहीं चल रहा था. It was vacuum. So that is the most funniest part. That was my very first.
And finally, was there any among your auditions? Was there any film that you would have loved to be a part of, but unfortunately you flunked the audition and couldn't be part of? Is there any which you can talk about?
Angrezi Medium was the film.
So who finally did it?
Ankit, I think, is the name of the boy who did it.
Okay.
He's in Dhadak as well.
But again, it's a Maddock film.
Again, it's a Maddock film. Yeah, and I told Dinu sir, I said, sir, you have been auditioning for, I have auditioned for your films a couple of times. कह रहे हैं कौन सा कैरेक्टर है? मैंने सर वो छोटा ऐसा वो कैरेक्टर था, ये कैरेक्टर था, अच्छा हुआ नहीं. So yeah, everything has come down to a full circle.
But you would have loved to do that. Sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Being in the same frame as Irrfan sir, nothing like it. Just to be seeing him and just to offer, just to see whatever he has to offer off screen. On screen, तो मतलब हमने देखा ही हुआ है. There's a whole encyclopedia. But just to be there, just to chat with him randomly would have been just some of the most precious moments which I will really regret in life.
Did you ever have to, because men and mental health is very less discussed. So did you ever have to take therapy, go to a psychiatrist? Did you ever have to face that? Like who's your support system?
I honestly tell you, कभी ऐसा realize भी हुआ होगा ना कि mental health के ऊपर काम करना चाहिए. तो I have never even thought about that sector because it never existed for me. मतलब now that I know that it's so important and it's you can talk about it and everything, you should. But मेरे life में या from the place where I come from exist ही नहीं करती है वो चीज़.
वो exist नहीं करती का मतलब नहीं है कि होता नहीं.
वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि होता है, but that sector is never explored only, especially the women in my from where I am. It is not a thing to be talked about. It is not even a thing which exists for them. And what doesn't exist, you can't work on that. So imagine how many. They are the women who sacrifices every single day for at least 10 things, and sometimes it does take a toll, and that also you can't express. So imagine how burdened it would be. I was actually thinking about it because अभी यहाँ पर बात होती है मेंटल हेल्थ की, पर मैं सोचा था जहाँ से मैं आता हूँ वहाँ तो होती नहीं है बात. वहाँ क्या करते हैं लोग? वहाँ so basically let's say it's an infection. अब वो इन्फेक्शन वहाँ पे नाम ही नहीं पता है, तो उनको पता ही नहीं है कि किस चीज़ का इन्फेक्शन है, तो वो क्योर पे ध्यान ही नहीं है.
So the mental health, because men are not encouraged to show emotion at all. No alpha male, you're the provider, like especially our fathers and all the patriarchs in the family, they never show any emotion. They're not allowed to, they're not encouraged.
Not aware. There's no awareness of talking about it. The only way you can, the therapy you can have is after 10 p.m.
When they lose an apple.
That's the therapy. That's the most therapeutic they can be. Otherwise, there's no way you can talk or it's an actual thing. It's not an actual thing. So you don't know. I don't know how to tell you this. But hey, what will you cure if you don't know the problem? Or if it is a problem or not. Like for me, I've sacrificed a lot of things. जो यहाँ पे लोग sacrifice कर ही नहीं सकते. तो बोलता है ये तो मेरे लिए problem ही नहीं है जो आपके लिए
इतनी बड़ी दुविधा है.
मेरे लिए problem कभी हुई ही नहीं है.
Like an example?
Coming like when I entered, you said वो वाला the enemy camps. Usually they are 7, 8 or so. I just this one sweet person to assist me. It's a. I can take a bottle and just sip water. It's fine. Just eases your life, and just from basic things like that. It's not a problem for me to have another car following my car. Just to make sure that I'm sitting in that car and reaching that place and opening the door. It's fine. I can do it myself. It's not a problem at all. It's nice.
So here I have an audience which wants to ask you a few questions.
Really?
Go ahead.
Wow.
We were reading all these headlines where people are calling you the national crush. How does it feel to compete for that title with Tripti Dimri?
Oh God, good one. I don't think there is a competition with Tripti Dimri. She's a fantastic artist. I love her in Kala. But I don't know. National crush is something which I'd like to be referred as, but I'm more of a permanent wala space. Crushes can come and go.
So you spoke about the experience that you had post the release of Munjya in terms of the appreciation and praises you got. So who was the most popular person who called you to congratulate you for the film?
One is sitting right beside me, and isko edit mat karna. But second most favorite person would be someone who has really forged the industry from aiding in Mohabbatein to making a film. The recent release Rocky and Rani. So Karan Johar actually, it's my fondest message.
Would you like to share Karan's message?
So it was as sweet as that I knew him from 10 years, as if I already was a major part of his life. That's how welcoming and comforting he was. And whenever you come from outside, you actually just want that comfort sometimes, that okay, people are welcoming and people are, personalities like him appreciate the talent, so to say, if I may say so, if you have. So that is just more than anything. That's a blessing in disguise.
Have you ever faced casting couch?
The very first meeting, ma'am, that I had was in that space. And that's where I actually felt a little, that no, I'm not choosing the right profession. Maybe I'm not for this profession. So I went back to my hometown. I stayed there for like good 10-15 days. And then I realized कि तुझे तो कुछ और आता भी नहीं है भाई. So it's better you stronger your will. And why should other person have the remote to your emotions? So, you are the fighter and you're the warrior of your dreams, and that's what I came by. And it's been 6 years, and I'm smiling, and I've just delivered a super.
So here's wishing you many more Munjyas and lots of great performances at the box office.